Namaste. For this class, I'm going to start out seated in a chair. You're more than welcome to do this standing. You're more than welcome to be sitting on the ground in a comfortable position. Let's get started. Inhale, raise your arms up. As you're raising your arms, you start to lift your head a little bit, looking upwards. Turn your palms away from each other. As your arms are lowering, your head is going to slowly lower. Your arms reach them further from your heart, so by the time the hands come all the way down at your sides, you're looking slightly forward and down. Press your feet down. Inhale, almost out of the corners of your eyes, see your hands, turning the palms open, lifting up, reaching up. For some of you, that's probably as far as they'll go. For some of you, parallel will work. For a few of you, maybe palms together. Turn the palms away from each other. See the ceiling. With your gaze, follow the hands out of the corners of your eyes as your arms lower down. Let's do that now a couple times with breath. Inhale, lift up, reach up. Exhale, spread your wings, lower down. Inhale, raise your arms, lift up, reach up. Exhale, lengthen your arms from your heart as they lower. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Okay. Now, one of my favorite ways of addressing the chronic tension in our necks and upper backs. Take your left arm behind your back. You can pull on the left wrist with your hand. So the arm is we call that a half bind in yoga. Already here, I'm feeling some stretch here, this side of my chest, right? Which is good for us, especially if you work at desks or you drive cars, you're rounding here. So just that alone is very therapeutic and beneficial. Now, I'm going to take my right arm up. I'm going to hold just above my ear and exhale, start to bring my head down towards my right shoulder. I don't want this shoulder piking up, softening down and away. About 5 breaths or so here. The second version of this. I'm going to start to look down towards my right knee. I walk my hand towards the back of the skull about halfway. So now I'm applying a little bit of a diagonal force on my head. And the stretch has shifted a little bit more into the upper back area. Still a little at the top of the shoulder. And the last part, chin towards the center of the chest. I'm going to reposition my hand, the top back of the skull, apply a little bit of a force downwards. And go ahead and release your head. Release the half-bound arm. Second side. Take your right arm around your back. Pull on the right hand or wrist. Half bind. Right? Sort of feel the opening of the top of the chest here, front to the shoulder. Inhale, raise your left arm up. Hold just above your right ear, and exhale, start to bring it down to the left. And start to angle chin down and to the left. You can have a little peek at your left knee. The hand, you can see it moved from the side of the head a little bit towards the back of the head. So the force is now applied diagonally on the head. Right shoulder softening, breathing softly. And then the third and final version here. Hand at the back, top part of the skull, chin over the center of the chest. Release your head, release the half-bound arm. It's probably my favorite neck, sort of upper back stretch that I share with more people in more groups and classes than any other. Right. Good. Inhale, take your arms up about shoulder height. Look left and right. Have your palms facing the sky. Lift your pinky fingers slightly higher than the thumbs. And make sure you're not binding in your throat and neck. Reach your fingers from your heart, lift the chest, and exhale, bring your palms together. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, turn your palms away from each other, lower them down. 3 more of those. Inhale, arms to shoulder height, palms turned open. Exhale, palms touch. Inhale, reach up, root down. Exhale, turn your palms out, lower your arms down. Inhale, raise your arms, lift your chest, look up. Exhale, bring your palms together. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, turn your palms out, spread your arms and lower down. Inhale, raise your arms, palms facing forward. Exhale, cross your right arm over the left arm. Good. And you can start to crawl your fingers around your back towards your shoulder blades. You might even be able to hold on to your shoulder blades or the inner parts of your shoulder blades. Then broaden the shoulder blades away from your back, away from your spine, right? And that works even if you don't get your hands very far around your back. Now, the bottom arm is going to lift the top arm. You can do this in yoga, what's called Garudasana. Palms facing away from each other, or the bottom hand touching the top palm. Now, I want you to mobilize the arms back and forth a couple times. All right, good. And now we're going to go up and down a few times. So let the bottom arm drop down. Sorry, let the top arm drop down. The bottom arm lifts it forward and up. And then start to lift the arms, tilt the head back a little bit. Don't jam the throat, don't jam your neck. And then exhale, lower down. Let's do that 3 times. Inhale, press your feet down. Elbows move forward and up. Exhale, lower the arms down a little bit. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, and exhale. Whew. Again, big, wide wingspan, left arm crossed over the right. I'm going to give you a side view here. So your fingers can sort of grip wherever on your upper back that they end up. You can crawl them as far as the inner parts of your shoulder blades. The shoulder blades move away from each other, away from the spine. Now, bottom arm lifted, top arm lifted, right? And a lot of you, this might be what your pose looks like. It's going to be just as effective for you as other versions for other people, right? Backs of the hands can press into each other, or the bottom fingers into top palm. Again, we'll start by moving elbows side to side a little bit. Top arm drops into the bottom arm. Bottom arm lifts it forward and up. You can see I'm only moving my head, my neck, and my upper spine as much as my arms are moving. Right? There's a symbiosis or a symphony of movement. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, and release. Part of the reason that I'm showing you this sequence in your chair is because you can do this at your desk, you can do this in your office, you could do some of these even in your car probably if you're stopped at a red light. We're going to continue. Let's come up to stand. Take your strap. If you don't have one, you can use a bathrobe. In Brazil, after kayaking, when I was an instructor for Body Soul Adventures, we would use sarongs. If you have a belt, hold the buckle in one hand with your thumb and index finger so that there's no twists or crinkles in that. Move your hands away from each other. Now, the width between your hands is going to vary a little bit for each of us. What you're going to do is you're going to pull it taut. You're going to lengthen the inner parts of the wrist joints, right? So you keep that space here in the inner parts of the wrist joints. So the belt is taut, and you're going to keep the belt taut as you bring it up, around, down, and back. Sort of flossing for the shoulder joints. And then inhale up, exhale forward and down. Right? So that was about the right width for me. Show you what happens if you start with your hands too close together. Pull the belt taut, inhale. I'm stuck right there. I can't go any lower. So I might do the hokey pokey, or I'll herky jerky. Either way, not so good, right? So I'm going to widen the hands again. But if the hands are too wide apart, watch, it'll feel, there's no challenge to the body. I'm not stretching anything. It's just sort of empty calories, I guess. So experiment a little bit. The right width for you. Arms straight the whole time if you can. Inner wrists lengthen the whole time. Belt taut the whole time. Slight bend in the knees perhaps. Inhale. Exhale back and down. Inhale. Exhale forward and down. Do this a bunch of times. And if you don't have time for any other yoga today, this is really, really good medicine for your body. The more you do it, as you start to open and release, you can experiment inching your hands in towards each other. It's going to put a little bit more demand, a little more stretch into those areas, back and down. Inhale, exhale forward and down. Come and stand at the wall. You can start with your feet right up against or pretty close to the floorboard. I'm going to start with my left fingertips on the wall. I'm going to bring my right hand, I'm going to curl my right arm up the wall. Now, I'm going to start to walk this right arm down the wall, right? And maybe that's as far as it's going to get. So I'm going to come away from the wall a little bit. And then I'm going to walk the right arm down the wall again a little bit more. You can have a little peek behind you. You want your arm about parallel to the ground or about shoulder height. Now, lift the fingers. But press the heel of the palm into the wall. Press your left hand into the wall. And then to intensify, start to slowly inch your toes, turn them away from the wall. So now the heel of my right hand is pressing firmly into the wall. The fingers are lifting and spreading. I'm getting quite a wonderful, intense stretch across the chest or front of the shoulder. And then to intensify that as needed, I can move away from the wall and or turn my feet away from the wall. And that starts to get really, really juicy. And release. Take your same right arm, lift it up. Hold the tricep, spiral the arm externally, reach your arm up, pat yourself on the back. You can see I put a strap over my right shoulder. So the right palm stays there. Left arm lifts, it inner spirals. I'll show you the back view of this on the other side. And clasp your hands together, or the strap's right in place. I can hold the strap with both hands. Pull down with left hand, pull up with right hand. Left elbow goes down, right elbow goes up. Make sure you're not jamming your neck. Make sure you're not pushing your ribs out. Right? So you might bend the knees a little bit, draw the frontal ribs in, Move your head around, make sure you're not jamming your neck. And then pull the hands apart or pull your left elbow down, right elbow up. And release. Whew. Second side. I'm just going to move this strap over to my left shoulder. I'm going to turn away from the camera. Start out with my feet pretty close to the floorboard. Right fingertips on the wall. Left arm climbing upwards. And I'll start to walk this left arm down the wall. This shoulder is much more open for me. So I can get it parallel to the ground, about shoulder height, a lot easier. You can see here how I lift the fingers, but I press the heel of the hand down. Right? So I keep the muscular support of triceps, biceps active. I use my right hand as leverage to slowly turn away from the wall. The whole time, my left arm stays active, the heel of the hand pressing into the wall. And then if I need more juice, more intensity, I can continue inching my feet away from the wall and or turning them forward away from the wall. And release. Left arm lifted up. Hold around the triceps with your right hand. Spiral the arm externally. You can see my palm. Pinky finger a little closer to my body than my thumb. Lift it up. Pat yourself on the back. Good job. Right arm, reach it out to your side. Inner spiral the right arm. Bring the knuckles of your right hand onto the back. Right? And you can try moving the arm across your back and then upwards, clasping the hands, or use the belt that's already in place, it's already resting on your left shoulder. Right? On this side, I'll show the clasped hands version. Right hand, the bottom hand is pulling down. Left hand, the top hand is pulling up. Draw the back of your pelvis down, soften the frontal ribs, make sure you're not pushing your head forward or jamming your neck. And release. All right. One more pose, one more part of this sequence. Since you're at the wall, the namaste hands, elbows about shoulder width apart. Step your right foot close to the wall. Left foot steps back. Press your palms together, press your forearms and elbows onto the wall. And then head can start to rest in between the arms or possibly dropping down a bit. This whole time, I'm not letting my elbows slide away from each other. I'm keeping them sort of energetically squeezed towards each other. My forearms, my hands are pressing into the wall. And I'm starting to soften my upper spine, neck, and head in between the arms. And come on up. Switch sides, bend both legs. One foot steps back a little bit. One steps forward. Mobilize your head, press your arms into the wall, and start to drop your head down. Whew. All right, we're done. We're going to come to lie down on our back. Last pose of this class is a restorative pose that I think you'll love. All right, so this whole class, we've mobilized our shoulders, we've released the upper back and neck musculature. Now we're going to rest. This setup is a little trickier to get, and a lot of people in yoga classes struggle with this setup, but let me teach it to you. 2 blankets and a bolster or a thick pillow. Right? Your first blanket, unfold it something like that, put it towards the back of your mat. Right? With this blanket, you're just going to fold it or roll it 1, maybe 2 times, right? It's not very thick at all, right? It's about that thick maybe. Right? That's going to go right underneath your shoulder blades or below the shoulder blades, bra line right there. The second blanket is to support the curvature of your neck. Right? This class is all about the upper spine. So our necks should or ideally have more curvature in them. So this blanket, we want a little thicker. I'm going to roll it once, twice. So that looks like a sort of a pretty big roll there. And space in between, right? Space in between these 2 rolls. Now, again, this will take a little bit of experimentation to get right, but keep practicing it. The bolster or thick pillow is for your legs. As you've seen in this series, whenever we come to lie down, I encourage you to have your legs bent, feet on the ground, and use your arms, use your hands to slowly lower yourself. Now, I have to reposition myself. I'm going to move my body back. So I'm just sort of wiggling side to side. Okay, now this first blanket here is right below my shoulder blades, not on it, right below. So that part is set. The second roll, right, I have to position it underneath my neck. My head is still on blanket, but this roll supports the curvature of your neck or sort of enhances it, lifts it a little bit. And then I'm going to drape my legs over the bolster. The curvatures of your body here on these 3 supports, sort of like the curvatures of a stream or a river flowing down a mountain. Those undulating ripples rising and falling. Starting with the weight of your head. You feel the first curvature of your neck rising up onto the rolled blanket and then dropping down. The upper back is resting in between the 2 rolls. Feel your shoulder blades. Feel the second roll right at your sort of bra line, right below the bottom tips of the shoulder blades. And how that's created another arch in your back, another undulating wave. It's now sloping down to mid and lower back, back of your pelvis. And your legs rising up from the ground, dropped onto the pillow or bolster, curving down towards your heels, grounding. You can imagine your inhalation as it's flowing down the front of your spine. You can imagine that it's sort of following those undulating curvatures in your body. You could even imagine you're following your inhalation all the way down your legs into your feet. And the exhalation all the way back up, those same undulating curvatures. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be happy and free. May your back, your neck, your upper spine feel a little happier, a little more freed. Thank you.